Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today, I'm going to be going over the top 10 vehicles that I feel like every player needs to own in Grand Theft Auto Online in 2021. This is going to be vehicles that can help with grinding, with PvPing, and with just generally surviving in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let's get into it. Alright guys, starting off at number 10, we have the Halftrack. If you're inside the driver's seat, you are completely protected from bullets. The only way that you can actually be killed while you're inside the driver's seat is if the entire vehicle gets blown up. On top of that, it has a cannon on the back, which can be operated by someone else. It's a pretty good cannon, it's pretty powerful, you can kill people from a long ways away. It can also hold a passenger up in the cab with the driver, so the two people sitting in the cab are completely protected unless the actual vehicle itself blows up. Overall, I think the Halftrack deserves to be on the list simply because of its defensive capabilities. Although it's not the fastest vehicle or the best looking perhaps, it is a very good defensive vehicle and it will for sure protect you if you are driving it. Let's move right into number 9. Alright guys, and at number 9 we have the MOC. Now the MOC itself is pretty useful. It has turrets on it. You can also equip it with a weapon workshop and a vehicle workshop, which are very useful things to have. They allow you to upgrade the Insurgent Pickup Custom, vehicles like that. So definitely worth having. But what we're actually going to be focusing on today is the MOC cab. So you can get the Hauler or you can get the Phantom. I personally have the Phantom because I just like it a little bit better. If you didn't know, the MOC cab is actually the most armored vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. It can take upwards of 65 rockets to destroy this thing, making it far better than any other vehicle as far as a defensive vehicle. That's why it's at number 9 ahead of the Halftrack. However, the reason that it's at number 9, which is pretty high on this list, is because it is a little bit inconvenient to actually get it. Let's move right into number 8. Alright guys, at number 8 we have the Hydra. The Hydra is one of my favorite vehicles in this game personally. It is a fighter jet that has VTOL capabilities, which means vertical takeoff and landing. As you can see right here, the Hydra takes off completely vertically. And then once you're in the air, you can pull up the landing gear and send it into actual jet mode. Now, this makes the Hydra very versatile. For example, if you're doing Headhunter and you've got a target that is in a little weird corner and you can't really get in there with a vehicle, and you don't want to go in there because of the bodyguards, the Hydra is a perfect solution to that problem. You can simply put it into VTOL mode and hover until you have eyes on the person that you're trying to kill, whether that be the headhunter guy or just an actual player, and you can take them out pretty easily. It's also extremely fast. It's an older vehicle, and for that reason, it's number 8 on the list and not a little bit higher, because I feel like nowadays there are a few vehicles that are just a little bit better than the Hydra. Alright guys, next up at number 7 we have the Buzzard. Now the Buzzard is really good because you can spawn it anywhere. If you go into your interaction menu and go to your vehicles, you can scroll through once you've got it. If you have it in a hangar, you can scroll through here and you can spawn it in like that. Also, if you're a CEO, you can go into the interaction menu and go to associate vehicles, and you can also spawn in the Buzzard that way. It will spawn really close to you that way. Or you can actually just call up Pegasus and request a Buzzard. Now, that is the reason that the Buzzard is at number 7 ahead of the Hydra and stuff like that, is because it is very easy to get to, and it's also a very fast vehicle. It's also equipped with missiles and machine guns, which is very nice. Definitely comes in handy on occasion. Now, the missiles aren't very good, neither are the machine guns, but it is nice to have a vehicle that is armed, that is available to spawn very close to you very quickly. Not only that, but it can also fly and go quite fast when it does fly. These things make the Buzzard a very valuable vehicle to have at your disposal in Grand Theft Auto Online, and that's why it is at number 7. Let's move right into number 6. Alright guys, at number 6 we have the HVY Night Shark. Now the reason that this thing is at number 6 is because it basically does everything that the Halftrack does except for the gun on the back, but it does it better, and most importantly, it does it faster. Now this thing has heavy plating on it, so it does make it quite hard to shoot the driver and the occupants inside the vehicle, which is very nice. However, it also makes it so that the driver cannot throw sticky bombs or shoot out of the vehicle. But the Night Shark does have front-mounted machine guns on it, as you can see right here. So that does sort of make up for that. Although the machine guns are not very good, they are still there, and it is definitely nice to have it. Now, like I said earlier, this thing is very fast, especially compared to the Halftrack, and even the MOC. The Night Shark can take, I believe, 27 rockets from the Oppressor Mark II before it is blown up, which is very good. That's more than one oppressor's full amount of rockets that it has off of spawn. So if somebody wants to kill you with an oppressor, they're gonna have to waste all of their rockets on you with one oppressor, spawn a new one and hit you with another 7 rockets, or be on foot and shoot you with a couple RPGs. We all know oppressor users, they're not very good at doing that, so likely they're gonna have to call another oppressor. So the Night Shark provides a good amount of safety while also being a very fast vehicle and a great off-roader as well. So that's why the Night Shark is at number 6. It's a very, very good vehicle to have, guys. I would highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites. Alright guys, next up at number 5 we have the Pegasi Torador, or Torador. This thing is a fantastic vehicle. This thing can take, I believe, 6 oppressor rockets before it is blown up, which is very, very nice. It also is equipped with front-mounted machine guns, as you can see right there. And also it has an infinite supply of missiles that have the oppressor's tracking. So that means that these missiles are just as good as the ones that the oppressor shoots out of it, except this thing can take 6 missiles from the oppressor, while the oppressor can take 1. So this thing is an oppressor killer, which means it is absolutely essential to have in Grand Theft Auto Online. Not only that, but this thing also has a ability, the rocket boost, which is very good. And not only that, but it's also submersible. You can also shoot the missiles underwater, so you can take out enemy Kasatkas with this thing quite efficiently, and you can also boost while underwater. This thing is a extremely versatile vehicle for all of these reasons. Obviously it can go in the water, it can go under the water. It has a rocket boost, oppressor level missiles, which are extremely good. And it has a decent amount of armor as well. This thing is pretty much an ultimate vehicle in GTA Online. The only reason that it's this low on the list is because there's just so many good vehicles in the game now that this thing, you know, even though really like it is potentially one of the best vehicles in this game, it's at number 5 right now because there are a couple vehicles that are just a little tiny bit better. All right guys, next up at number 4 we have the Unholy Mark II oppressor. I actually just had to buy this thing to make this video. I do not like this thing myself personally. I cannot stand it, but it is a very good vehicle to have. The rockets on this thing are fantastic. The tracking on them is just like pretty much unmatched. They're a little bit slow, but it doesn't matter. Trust me, I've been killed enough times by this thing to know it does not matter how slow the rockets are. They are very, 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 very good. Anyway guys, that's pretty much all I got to say about this thing. You should probably own one. Even though I hate advocating for this thing, you probably should get one. Alright guys, and at number 3, we have the Sparrow. So you go to services after you've already bought the Kasatka, and you request the vehicle, the Sparrow. Now let's do that. This is one of the reasons that this thing is this high on the list, is because when you spawn it, it spawns instantly and it spawns right beside you. Now, the Sparrow itself is quite fast, it's extremely maneuverable, and also inside the Kasatka you can modify it to have homing missiles or non-homing missiles. The missiles on this thing are pretty good. They're better than the Buzzard. They're not, you know, as good as the Oppressor necessarily, but they are quite good nonetheless. I would definitely recommend picking up the Sparrow. Unfortunately, you do need the Kasatka to own it. Nonetheless, get a Kasatka and definitely get a Sparrow. Alright guys, and at number 2, I have a vehicle that may surprise some of you guys. I have the Akula. This is one of 2 helicopters in this game that is equipped with stealth mode, and you would not believe how much stealth mode can actually help you in this game. The Akula itself is a great helicopter. It is a 4-seater. You can equip it with barrage or homing rockets. As you can see right here, I have barrage on mine. It shoots a quick burst of 4 rockets. It also has machine guns, and for your passenger, it also has a dual machine gun that is equipable on the bottom of the helicopter right there. The Akula's main purpose is stealth mode. Now, stealth mode on the Akula. This means that I am completely off the radar and nobody can actually see me on the minimap. So nobody can see me on the minimap in the bottom left, and nobody can see me on the big map, even in the escape or pause menu. Right now, if there's other players in the session, I would be completely invisible as far as they were concerned unless they could actually physically see me. So, you can imagine how good this is for PvPing and just running cargo or getting around the map without people being able to know where you are. The Akula is fantastic. I use this thing all the time. Take it from me. This is definitely the second best vehicle on this list, and it is probably arguably one of the best vehicles in this game. It has enough armor to take 3 homing launcher rockets before it gets shot down out of the sky. Let's move right into the last vehicle on the list, which is by far the best vehicle in the game. Alright guys, some of you may have guessed it. We have the Kasatka at number 1. The Kasatka is by far the best vehicle in this entire game. Alright, so the Kasatka has a long list of features which make it extremely good and worth every single penny in Grand Theft Auto Online. Right at this table, you can do everything you need to do to start and launch the Cayo Perico heist. Next up, we have guided missiles. The guided missiles are very, very powerful. They're a must-have with the Kasatka. They're really good for killing players. They're really good for killing AI. Really good for doing missions like Headhunter. Like I mentioned earlier, you must own the Kasatka to actually have the Sparrow. The Sparrow is a top 3 vehicle in this game that I think that you should own. You can modify it inside the Kasatka. You can respray it or add the mounted 50 cal minigun or the mounted homing missiles. The mounted homing missiles are the way to go, trust me. You can exit from the Kasatka, wherever the Kasatka may be, and you come out right on the top of it right here, as you can see. And not only that, but you can also re-enter the Kasatka using the Sparrow. So it's fantastic for doing the setup missions for Cayo Perico. The Sparrow is super good for that. Not only that, but you can also store one personal vehicle inside of the submarine, which I have my Torador in here, which I find very useful because you can enter into it and you can drop out the bottom of the submarine. And obviously we all know the Torador, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is a submersible car. So the Torador provides a, great third vehicle that you can escape the Kasatka with, or take out to maybe take out an Oppressor Mark II that's coming near the Kasatka. Whatever it may be, it's a great place to store a Torador, that's for sure. Another good feature with the Kasatka is you can come into the kitchen and you can grab supplies. You can fill up on ego chasers for free, P's and Q's as well, meteorites, redwoods, pisswasser, whatever you need, you can get it from here, all for free. You can enter onto this periscope and get into it here, and you can launch missiles from here. So you can use the lock on if there was enemy aircraft, up in the sky right now. You can lock onto it and then you can fire missiles at it, and the missiles with this thing are very, very good. You can actually use the Kasatka as a way to fast travel. So you can fast travel anywhere in the game for $2,000, which you can imagine if you're going to resupply a business, if you got to go defend a business, whatever you need to do. Say you need to go to Paleto Bay, all you have to do, go onto here, Paleto Forest, $2,000, double click it, and we're on our way. As you can see, it takes about 10 seconds to get here, and now all of a sudden we're back in Paleto Bay. This is a fantastic feature, and perhaps one of the most underrated features with the Kasatka is the ability to teleport. Not only that, but you can of course drive the Kasatka yourself, which is a very cool feature. When you dive down underneath the water, this thing actually goes off the radar as well. And now that I'm underwater, this thing is off the radar as well, which, as I mentioned before with the Akula, it is pretty useful to be able to go off the radar and be undetected and move around. Would highly recommend picking one of these things up, guys. It's absolutely essential to have in Grand Theft Auto Online in 2021. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, leave a like. If not, dislike. Let me know in the comments down below what vehicles you think I should have added to this list, or if you agree with the selection that I have chosen. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.